Okay, what we're going to do now, we're going to show you how nanomagnetite reacts with hydrogen peroxide to create oxygen and water. And as a control, we're going to put the same nanoparticles in water and show you that there's no reaction with the water and there's only reaction with the hydrogen peroxide. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I've cut a couple of bottoms out of one of these plates, and here they are. I'm going to coat the bottom, the portion of the bottom, with nanomagnetite, so bear with me here. Okay, put a little on this one and a little on this one. Okay, and then we're gonna rub it in and rub it into the styrofoam. Okay. These are nanoparticles, approximately 20 to 30 nanometers in size. Here's the other one, same kind of material, same nanoparticles. Okay, we're going to rub it in to the bottom of this disc here. We're going to pour one of them full of water and one of them full of hydrogen peroxide, and we're going to see what the difference is. You should see a significant reaction going on in the hydrogen peroxide, and not so much with the water. No reaction at all. All right, here's our two discs. Okay, and I'm going to place them next to each other so we can hopefully get a picture of the reaction in both of them at the same time. And let's see. All right, and I'm going to put water in one and hydrogen peroxide in the other. The one on the left is going to have water put in it. Okay, I'm pouring it full of water. Okay, and the one on the right I'll fill with 3% hydrogen peroxide that I obtained from the local drugstore. There we go. Okay. Yeah, here's our bottle of hydrogen peroxide, just kind you find at the grocery store. And here's our two containers. I'm going to zoom in on them, and then I'm going to look at I'm going to switch to a screen view that I've got. Hold on a minute. Let me add a little bit more hydrogen peroxide to this one on the right. There we go. Fill it up. And here we have a screen view of the two plates. See if we can see it on the screen here. We're projecting it onto a screen. Yeah, this is the one on the right is the hydrogen peroxide laden bowl, and the one on the right has water in it. And they both have nanomagnetite rubbed into the styrofoam in the bottom of it. And I go back over here and move these around a little bit better so I can center them on the screen. All right, now I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom in. Let's see. There we go. We're zooming in. Zooming in on the two plates. Let me again move the plates around, get them kind of centered better. Okay. That's the screen image. I've got it also on an overhead projector. And I'm going to take a look at the, take a film of it, take it from the overhead projector. Make sure my zoom here, there we go. There's a little bit of a reflection on the one on the right in here. Let me get a pencil. Okay, there's a little bit of a light reflection right in here. What the light's reflecting off the surface, but I don't think it'll bother us. And actually, I can start to see some bubbles forming. Let me zoom back out and take a look at the overhead projector. Yeah, you can start to see. I'm going to go back to the computer screen instead. Okay, you can start to see the formation of bubbles. These are very tiny, small bubble packages forming on the surface of the hydrogen peroxide. And we don't see any bubble packages floating on the surface of the water. These are oxygen bubbles. And I'll try to zoom in on them a little bit here. Let me move the hydrogen peroxide plate over here a little bit so we can really zoom in on those bubbles being formed. Yeah. Yeah, you can see a big package of bubbles up here. Some bubbles. A lot of bubbles right here. Okay. And like I said, you don't see the bubbles starting to form on the magnetite that's in the water. Here's the water-laden magnetite. Let me move it over here a little bit. Get to the water magnetite. No bubble packages seen there at all. Let me zoom out. There we go. And let me get the two of them back together here. Now you can see the bubbles forming on the magnetite and the hydrogen peroxide. Now I'm going to move. I'm just going to move the hydrogen peroxide plate directly over the lens here, and I want to really zoom in now on it tight, and let you look at some of these bubbles that are forming on the particles, the nanomagnetite particles. Here we go. Focus this thing. There we go, right here. Now these you can easily see these bubbles. Focus it in again. And the bubbles of gas coincide with the concentrations of the magnetite. Let me go back to the screen picture. See what this looks like. Yeah, there's wherever you see a concentration of magnetite on the bottom, you see concentration of bubbles on top of it. I'm going to go back to the computer screen, and I'm going to try to zoom in even closer. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. It's a ×6 zoom. I'm going to show you one of those floating masses of bubbles. There's one. Right there. Okay, let's zoom in on that thing. There we go. Those are oxygen bubbles. Let me focus it a little bit here. It's interesting. They're actually the little bubbles are migrating toward these masses of bubbles because the masses of bubbles lift the surface up, and due to buoyancy, and the smaller bubbles travel up slope in response to gravity. Just like a heavy object goes downhill, these bubbles are lighter than, and they go uphill along the surface of the water. Quite a bit of bubbles in there. Let me zoom out and take it so you can take a look at this bubble pattern. There's quite a bit of bubbles there. Let's see if we can see another mass migrating toward it here. No. There's quite a few bubbles though. All right, let me move this plate over a little bit here. There's another mass of bubbles. Now it's probably going to move in. It's going to coalesce with the larger mass that's being drawn toward it because of the difference in surface elevation of the liquid. Fascinating. Let me zoom in on it here. Now you can see it moving toward the bigger mass due to the buoyancy effect. There it goes. A lot of bubbles of oxygen. A lot of oxygen bubbles. The nanomagnetite reacting with hydrogen peroxide and creating oxygen and water. It's decomposing the free radical hydrogen peroxide into two components that are good for cellular growth and health, oxygen and water, and getting rid of the toxic hydrogen peroxide. Okay, let me zoom out. I'm going to turn this off now. Thank you very much for watching this.